not one thing is more effective than another, but the way I go about it is what would I want if I were to get this for myself? Because majority of the time, we used to be our ideal client. And if we weren't, I want you to think of an ideal person. The more real you make this person, giving them a name, characteristics, a persona, you're going to know, well, you know what? She might like a roadmap instead of a webinar because she's too busy to come, join in real time.
Welcome to the Marketing Stuff Podcast. If you want to grow your email list without all the aches, pains, and guesswork, well, we have a show for you. I have an amazing guest. She is phenomenal. Thank you today for joining. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate all your support. If this is your first time, come on in. We are a loving community, and I'm glad to have you here. Our goal is to help you level up your marketing game in a way where you don't feel like you're drowning and you're overwhelmed. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can get all the notifications for the episodes that we drop. But that's enough about the episode stuff. Let's get into our guest. She is an outstanding coach that works with overwhelmed entrepreneurs to help them go from stress to successful CEOs. She's the lady in red, the queen of roses. Help me, everybody, welcome Brianna to the podcast. Thank you so much, lady, for joining us today. I appreciate you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. And thank you so much for having me here.
Yes. So for anybody that's listened to any of the other episodes, this is a TikTok guest. We're doing this thing now where I'm like, if you can count how many people have come from TikTok and you email me, you get a prize. I don't even know what the prize is yet, but I just feel like at this point, it's got to be part of the culture of the show. So I've actually met you through TikTok, but it was like an introduction. I'm trying to think. Dahlia. Yeah. So it's funny how TikTok changed so much for people, even the way that we like network and meet people.
Right.
Because I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, "Hey, he's also a marketing person, and he'll be on the show if I can get him the book." And I was like, "I'm gonna send you the link," and I went to email him, and I'm like, "I only know him by his handle name." I was like. And then I was thinking back on it. I was like, there's a ton of people that only know me by my handle name because that's all we've ever done is interact via social media. We've gotten on lives before and we've had full-on conversations. And they call me on demand. And I was like, man, that's so wild now that you have a culture where like your social media handle is your name.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And see, I know exactly how that is. My name has went from Brianna to B to Lovely to Roses, Red.
Yes. I'm not surprised, man. People I can't remember what somebody called me the other day. It was like service marketing something. And I was like, that's my profile name, Goofy. Like, that's not my name.
At least you're not user 6578443.
Man, look, if you're on TikTok right now, you haven't given yourself a name. Please give yourself a name. Like, just not the user thing. That's got to go. We got to lead that in 2022. It doesn't take much. It does not take much. But we brought you here because one of the things that I've noticed that you do amazingly well, is you create lead magnets, but you do it in such a way that like it is so simple the way that you talk about how to do it. And I think that's tremendous value, especially for entrepreneurs and marketers that are like, I need to put out more lead magnets, right? Because like we could all say that the size of your list is directly proportionate to the amount of lead magnets you produce.
Yeah.
And I don't know about anybody else, but I know there have been times that I haven't produced a lead magnet because I've overcomplicated it.
Mhm.
And just to provide some clarity, can you just break it down to us? What is a lead magnet?
So, a lead magnet, what I like to look at it is the people that have no idea who you are and what you do, and you want to bring them into your world. And this can be a free tip, a free guide, a roadmap, whatever you specialize in. Offer that to somebody. We're in a world where people are always consuming things, and why not let them consume something that's going to give them value and then make them say, wow, this was so good. What can I get when I pay for something that they have?
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. And I love this. I love this idea. You have a lead magnet that's like your freebie on making freebies.
Yes, freebie
So
funnel roadmap. Hmm.
yeah, there you go. What made you how do you determine what you're going to turn into a lead magnet? Because you also did something interesting with the Steve Harvey 300
Yes.
thing a while back. So talk to
Uh-huh.
us about that.
So I like to look at what are my clients or ideal clients talking about? I look at it in two aspects. So the freebie is I realized a lot of business owners don't have freebies. Everybody has a paid product. And you have to
Hmm.
think if someone doesn't know you, they're not going to buy from you. They're going to
Right,
look at your information and your content and say, okay, this is good, but they don't have anything tangible. So I
right.
said, well, let me help you with a freebie by you downloading my freebie. And with the Steve Harvey, I saw that that was trending. And I said, how can I utilize getting more people onto my list, but having
Yeah,
people see that I think so differently in the way that I process information, the way that I achieve goals? So I said, let me turn this into a freebie where someone else would have turned it into something paid.
yeah. I did. I like that. It's funny because right around the time you were like, "I'm making this freebie," I was like, "Girl, I was just about to make one. Now I'm not making one. I'm just gonna get yours when you're done." Because
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I love that you're looking at what your clients are talking about or the
Hmm.
problems that they're dealing with, and like, okay, how
Yep.
can I address this problem?
Hmm.
And then you're also looking at the things that are trending to see like what is happening in the world of whatever to then
Hmm.
decide like, okay, I'm going to leverage that to then create something that could potentially get a ton of eyeballs or at least have in the moment a ton of desire uh, for that thing. So talk to us a little bit about how do you go about making sure that you're creating a high converting lead magnet?
So I really, really pay attention to my audience. And
Okay.
you have to look at a track record of what their buying habits are, what things that they're actually consuming. I feel that I know my audience so well that I already know by creating something for free. In my freebie, I need the second step in there, which is the upsell offer. I
Yeah.
convert very highly because I have something that's lower ticket right at the front end. So as soon as you finish converting or reading my freebie, then I'm hitting you with, hey, after you've made your freebie, do you want to know how to convert it? Get this guide on how to convert high converting freebies. And then the price would be anywhere from $10 and less.
Okay. So so talk to us a little bit about when you're doing the freebie part, because I hear you saying we need to know our audience well.
Mm-hmm.
The question is like, if
Mm-hmm.
you're a new business owner, you're a new marketer, you don't know your audience yet. How do you go about starting to develop an audience? Which oftentimes people talk about building your email list, and that
Mm-hmm.
that's your home base. How do you do that? I feel like sometimes it ends up being a catch 22. How do you build an
Yeah.
audience when
Yeah.
you don't know your audience to build an audience?
Right. And what I look at is you being fully transparent and attracting the people that you want to become your audience. So
Okay.
I'm very, very intentional on who I have and who finds me, because I want people that are like minded to be buying the things that I have or be consuming the things that I have. So, in order to do that, I'm presenting myself in one way and then I'm giving information in another way. When I make things simple, I know that I have people that need digestible things. Like, I can't put out a 10-minute video and expect for them to consume everything. I want quick, fast paced things for them to say, wow, I understood it. I want my audience to be people that have quick wins with whatever I say. So if you translate that the same with your content, well, what type of people are you attracting with the videos and things that you're making? Well, that's the audience that you're going to have. Then after a couple days, you start seeing who started liking my stuff. What are they posting on their social media? You have to be, consumed by what they're doing. It's like we took the social out of social marketing. We don't talk to people no more. We don't follow people. Everybody's so consumed on, like, let me follow motivational pages when they don't care about you. They don't want to know what your problem is. So be invested in real people and you're going to understand what the market needs.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I posted a video not too long ago that was like, fuck followers. I'm done with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want
Mm-hmm.
family. And if you ain't on that vibe, then we don't need to be connected because
Right.
you're right.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We lost a lot with, I want to be, and this is not what this episode was supposed to be about, but we definitely finna go here. I think it's happened with this idea of being an influencer.
Yes, absolutely.
And like, people have taken it and gone like, well, if I'm an influencer, that means I have a bunch of followers that like listen to what I say, and they're almost like this thing of like take Oprah for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
right? She's definitely an influencer before it was popular,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of what talk show hosts, weathermen, actors, that's what they were,
Mm-hmm.
right? We called them celebrities then, but it's the same dynamic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But because of the way their audience was built, it was one way.
Mm-hmm.
And now people are taking social media and saying, well, Oprah doesn't talk to her audience. Well, that's because they don't have a direct line of communication with her.
Right.
She
Right.
didn't build her audience off the back of a Facebook group. You did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you got to really be mindful of like how you're going about it. If you do a talk show like Oprah and you ain't never seen none of your people, that's cool. Don't talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're on a social media platform, come on now. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird to me when I see
Mm-hmm.
people that have thousands upon thousands of followers and have nobody that they're following.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody on this app makes any content that you thought was valuable enough to follow.
Right.
So that's
Right.
that's my sidebar.
I agree.
and my like emotional struggle when I'm on these apps. Like, come on, bro, how you got 2 million
Mm-hmm.
followers and you follow 2 people? Come on.
Right.
So we talked a little bit about this idea of like, being consumed with your people in
Mm-hmm.
order to understand what it is they care about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then using that to determine what it is you're going to create as far as the topics, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you know, like, what are the best types of lead magnets? Like, so I got the topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do I know what I should turn the topic into?
Right. So I look at that as that's what you're going to be testing, because
Okay.
not one thing is more effective than another. But the way I go about it is, what would I want if I were to get this for myself? Because
Okay.
majority of the time, we used to be our ideal client. And if we weren't, I want you to think of an ideal person. The more real you make this person, giving them a name, characteristics, a persona, you're going to know, well, you know what? She might like a roadmap instead of a webinar because she's too busy to come join in real time. Or she might like a
Yeah.
workbook because she feels it's more hands on and she can get a bigger transformation. So this also goes back into who are you giving it to?
Got it. Got it. So talk to me a little bit. What made you decide to turn the 300, the Steve Harvey 300 list, into a Notion doc instead of like a Google sheet or an Excel sheet?
Okay. So, for one, I absolutely love Notion, and I am so adamant on turning everybody that is a paper planner into a digital planner. So, there's like the backside of that. And I wanted to do it also in Trello, but I wanted to be authentic with myself. And I
Yeah.
utilize Notion for different aspects. And for me, in that way, the capabilities are so much more, there's just a lot that you can do. So I said, I'm going to turn it into the thing that I know I utilize. And
Okay.
to be the thing that just makes it mind blowing is that it's free. Because again, I over deliver, I'm throwing value in your face, and I want you to get a transformation. The moment you do, I'm putting myself higher in a sense than other people because I want you to change with my free content. I want you to get the thing that you're seeking in free content. And then I
Right.
want you to say, okay, if I go evaluate and see who I work with, who has already helped me without me putting money down? Because that's how I was before I worked with anybody. Well, what do you have for free that I can see if it even works? It's essentially a try before you buy. If I know you
Yeah.
like Notion, well, let me put out my best stuff out there because when I show you my paid templates, you're going to want them.
No, absolutely. It's funny that you say this try before you buy. There's a bakery here. Um, it's, what? You're
Not a
like,
bakery.
oh snap. A bakery, girl. Oh man, I walk in there. They have they have some of the they have these praline caramel praline scones.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, just ridiculous, right? And the other day I go in there and they have banana walnut muffins.
Mm-hmm.
Just ridiculous, right? And so the thing that I tell people about this place that makes them special is that they are not only do they have samples, but they push you to try the stuff first,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And what ends up happening inevitably, I walk in for one thing and they're like, "Would you like to try?" And I'm like, "I mean, I guess." And then I tried. I'm like, "Oh my god, that is so good." And then the
Mm-hmm.
girl goes, "If you like that, you'll really like this."
Mm-hmm.
And they're again letting me try it before I've committed to it.
Yes.
And their scones are only like 3.25, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my bill is somehow magically $35, right? So it's like it's like um I think service business owners sometimes we miss that piece
Yes. Yes.
because it can be difficult to
Mm-hmm.
be like, I don't hand out samples. But this lead magnet concept is probably about it's one of the closest things that you can
Yeah.
do for a sample
Mm-hmm.
without really putting yourself out there, right? Like I think the I've had to let a lot of the free consultations go
Yeah.
because people get their money's worth. I I
And
could
but you can't be mad. Like I want to even look at this as a perspective change. That how would your business look again if you're service based if you took the model of giving out samples? What
mhm,
can a sample do for your business? Well, a lot of times people say, "Oh, well, I don't want to give the how for free or whatever." But do it and see who implements it. Not everybody will. I will I will be blue in the face when I say I have said on social media how I stay organized and people still work with me for me to organize their own calendars when I've already said how I do it. Not
yeah,
everybody does it. We're so worried about,
absolutely.
oh, I'm not getting paid, but no one's listening.
No, but here's, I think so. I think they're listening. They're
Mhm.
just, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I believe you're listening.
Okay.
But I'll be honest with you.
Implementation.
Yes,
Hmm.
and sometimes I'm like, sometimes I just don't have the bandwidth, and I
Yes.
need someone to be like, okay, now you do this,
It's the
and now you do
accountability.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day,
Hmm.
because there's stuff that people have done that I'm like, I could have did this
Right.
by myself,
Hmm.
but it's just like trying to collect myself just enough to like take the first step. Sometimes it's a lot. One of the things that I do is like I'll coach people through my 7 day live challenge.
Hmm.
And it's, and I tell people all the time, it's so stupid simple,
Hmm.
but all it is they go live 7 days in a row for 5 minutes a day. And I just tell them what to talk about. I just
Wow.
send it to them in a
Hmm.
message. That's it. And by the time that they're done with the 7 days, they acknowledge whether or not they want to do live, right?
Hmm.
7 days is enough for you to know, for you to have tasted it and not be so afraid of it now that you're avoiding it out of a um, unnecessary fear,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So I'm with you. Definitely the idea of us as service business owners being better about being willing to give it all away.
Hmm.
Um, One of my mentors told me, he's like, if I can tell you how to do something and it put me out of business, I might be in the wrong business. Because there's no
Right.
reason why I should be able to tell you in a 30-minute video, or not even a 30-minute video, in a 4 page freebie, how to
Yeah.
do everything that I do, and I'm replaced by a 4 page document.
Right. And that's a mindset. Like people look at it too as like, oh, well, what if I don't have anything else to say? Well, then start reading because that
Yeah.
means you don't know your craft well enough. I can
Yep.
throw value and value and value and still turn at you and say, but did you read this book that adds on to why I said this? And here's another document that I made.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was looking back at the content that I've made over the last few. I'm like, man, you got like 500 videos. Like, dude, okay, you got some content out in the world.
Right.
And a lot of it has been me being willing to go onto the platforms and just teach you what I'm learning
Mm-hmm.
when I was new, right? I'm teaching you what I'm learning. And to this day, I still do it. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go live and talk about something that I'm learning right now because I need to solidify it for me
Mm-hmm.
and get the questions out so I know what else to study, right?
Right.
Um, but realizing like if they ask me too many questions and I don't know how to answer them, that's great because now this gives me an opportunity to fill the gaps.
Yes.
And it's the filling of the gaps that makes us really strong in our craft.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so I think this leads us pretty well into the next question, but talk to us a little bit about some of the tools that you're using to create and distribute your lead magnets.
Yeah, so the biggest tool that I use to create it, for one, is Canva. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
We all need Canva. And then it's also the other tool would be based on what it is that you're trying to give. So, like, again,
Okay.
if I'm doing templates, then I'm going to utilize Notion or Trello. Both of those to
Yeah.
me go hand in hand. Absolutely love them. And then as a distributor, what I used to use that I still recommend to clients is Gumroad because
Mm.
that alone, when you give something as a freebie, people have the option to then tip you. And
Yep.
that alone, to me, in my eyes, is a conversion of just already making sales as opposed to only a lead magnet. Because if
Right.
you look at a regular lead magnet, sure, you can put it in, let's say, Flowdesk, love them, but you're not going to make money on it. And not to say that you would want to, but you can throw it out there. There's a lot of people that are appreciative of, what you have to offer. And if something says pay what they want, and if they want to give you $1 or two, now you really know that that's something that they wanted. All
Yeah.
it's doing is adding credibility to, wow, this is something that as much as it's free, they would pay for this because that's what you should have at the back of your mind. If you would pay for the freebie that you have, it's a good freebie.
Right. Right. I love that. I noticed that you switched to something.
Yes, I have a lemon
Uh,
squeezy.
yeah, there you go. What is
Yes.
that? What is it?
So
What is
I
that?
so I absolutely love it. I was looking at them honestly and then PayHip. I was going down a rabbit hole of all kinds of systems, and their biggest thing that I loved was all of their back end, just different analytics that they have. You can look at your MRR through them and just everything. I can see exactly what a customer has purchased, how I'm segueing them with Zapier into my email list with tags on different things that they've gotten. So I
Yeah.
just, it's a little more advanced, and not to say advanced in people that use other, marketing tools, let's say like ClickFunnels, but I'm like, I want something I can still recommend and not tell people, hey, you can't use this. So I go from Gumroad and then Lemon Squeezy, and then we can migrate all the way to ClickFunnels.
Yeah, I did. I saw that and then I was like, let me see. Let me do some digging. I was like, oh,
Uh huh.
this looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
Um I cuz you're always looking for the right stack. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is a forever endeavor for small business owners and marketing professionals. It's like, I get a tool that does most of what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just recently migrated off of High Level.
Okay. I
Yeah,
was looking at them.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, here's my thing. I used High Level for a couple of years. Uh, as I transitioned my business from more marketing service to content production, I just felt like it was too complex,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I wanted something that was much simpler
Yes.
because bringing team members on and having them
Training them.
like freeze because of the system,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
had way too many conversations about how to make something work in High Level, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I
Mm-hmm.
can't have these conversations. I'm tired. So
Yeah.
we actually had a pretty major project with a company here with the state agency, and we were using the calling feature,
Mm-hmm.
which I love. Again, all this stuff is integrated in there. I love it. Um, but we were having some problems,
Mm.
and we were getting some calls that were like phantom calls, and so it was we were getting billed for like it was like just burning our budget. And I'm like, what is
Dang.
going on?
Uh-huh.
And we ended up having to like essentially go in, disconnect, and reconnect because we could not figure it out. And like it was like stuff like that where I'm like, there is no reason why I need to be a technical pro of VoIP phone systems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as far as my team goes, I am the most tech savvy.
Right.
So it's like you end up doing the troubleshooting. I spent like 10 hours trying to figure this out. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, when this project is over, we're done with this. We're
Yeah.
done with this.
Yeah. And that's how you
And
know. Yeah.
yeah, we still need some sort of phone system.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, yo, we gonna switch to Google Voice for now.
Yeah.
And like we'll figure the other thing out here in a bit. But I couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
I love this idea. I'm gonna have to check Lemon Squeezy back out because
Do
um,
it. It's
yeah,
easy, and you know that's the biggest thing that I tell anybody I work with, that I'm here to make your life easy by keeping things very, very simple. If it is
for
not
sure.
simple, I'm not going to use it, because even to explain how to use something, if I can't explain it to you, I don't even want you using it. And I now see Lemon Squeezy as that thing. The only
Mhm.
thing that I'm waiting for them to do is, because they're going to have memberships, but the way that Gumroad you're able to drop in files is so simple that I'm like, okay, let's get with it. Because as soon as Gumroad, like, did some changes, people were going between Podia and like Kartra and like just all kinds of stuff. But I said, it's too much, because I was even looking at Circle and Mighty Networks. And I'm like, it's too much. If I have to pay someone to set it up, I don't want it. Not that I don't want somebody to do it, but I want to know how to use it.
No, no, no. Look, that's fair. So are you looking for a community tool?
Yeah, but now I'm just keeping everything in lemon squeezy.
So you said memberships. Are they doing memberships or are they dropping a community tool?
Yeah, so both.
Okay.
So right now, the reason I switched into them is because I'm going more digital product heavy.
Yep.
And I want something that holds everything that I have and for me to have a high level overview of everything that's going on. But they
Absolutely.
have an area for you to have like reoccurring payments, they have like
Okay.
membership, stuff like that. So within my membership, this is where I'm utilizing PayHip to store all the video lessons that I have. That's essentially like a
That's interesting.
course, but an ongoing thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Cool beans. Cool beans. I'll definitely check them out. Because I got some stuff that people are like, what are you still doing on TikTok if you're not looking for clients? I'm like, I'm just don't worry about that. Don't.
Right. Market research.
Uh, yeah, man. TikTok's the place where you can find out what's about to pop off.
Yeah.
So if you're paying attention, you can get some good insights.
Hmm.
And it's actually been part of a couple of talks that I've given around like, and it goes really well with what we're talking about right now. This idea of like, how do I know what to do for a lead magnet? Well,
Hmm.
if you type in TikTok right now, marketing questions from small business owners, and you're just 8 videos that went viral about how to do customer research, right? Not saying that those are the ones that's going to go viral. Those probably won't go viral. But if they do, then you're like, all right, I need to create a free lead magnet on like the my proven 6-step process to learning everything about your customers in under an hour,
Now I'm gonna go
right?
make that. Give me 30 minutes. I'm just
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing.
kidding.
Sometimes, but that's a lot of what I do on TikTok, which is
Hmm.
why, like, I had Latila on. Do you know her?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so she does. She's like uh, video marketing and then content strategist.
Okay.
And she was like, "You don't put out any offers." I was like, "Cause I'm not selling shit." Like, I may start doing like uh, just
Digital
small sessions with
products.
folks that,
Do digital
yeah,
products.
yeah. Uh, I never know. So I have one. I just don't push
Okay.
it. I
I
do.
mean, you don't
It's
have
actually on
to. If it's
Gumroad.
in your link,
I'm on
okay.
Gumroad, and
Okay.
and so it's like an event marketing thing. That
Okay.
so this we're not good. We don't have time for that. But that's probably my favorite tool to use to grow a business
Mm-hmm.
is events.
Mm-hmm.
But people be sleeping on them,
Yeah.
sleeping,
Really. Mm-hmm.
sleeping.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna go pretty heavy on that on TikTok over the next at some point. And so I'm not even gonna set a date because then people gonna be watching the show and like I went to TikTok to find your event marketing and I didn't see it. Like you know what, damn it,
Right. Right.
damn
Uh-huh.
it. So if somebody was like, I want to go out and create a lead magnet right
Hmm.
now, and they needed inspiration for how to do it, right? I mean, and I'm talking about formatting the sheet or you know putting all of it together. Where would you recommend this person go looking to be able to like get their creative juices going so that they can put something together that they're not going to be disgusted by next week after they've gone through their Canva tutorials.
Well, by the time that this goes out, my part two freebie funnel roadmap will be out, and that will
Yeah.
be able to walk them through how to actually set it all up and what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes we overthink the design versus making sure all the information is there. So if you weren't downloading this, then I guess the first step would be, well, what is it that you want to give people? What value is it that you have in this? Because you're looking at what problem are you solving. After you identify what problem you're solving, well, the second one is looking at how are people going to be able to digest it? What is the
Mm.
best way for them to receive this information? Is that going to be in a call? Is it a guide? Is it a roadmap? Is it a checklist?
Yeah.
Once you distinguish what that is, then you can go to create it.
Okay. That's definitely some solid advice. I appreciate you. If a listener can only take away one thing from today's show, what would that one thing be?
Create a freebie, because not everybody that comes into your network, your part of social media, is going to immediately buy. You want to at least have them on your email list.
Nice. Simple, wrap it up. Create a freebie. Make sure you get out there and you're building those freebies. If you feel like that this is something that you want to do and you need a guide, this young lady has a fantastic tool on her TikTok that you can go download, and it is a freebie, right? So you can get the love that you need, get the tools, and like she said, by the time this drops, you might even have the other side too. So check her information out in the notes or the description here. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the YouTube description. If you're on your podcast, whichever platform you prefer, it should be in the show notes below so that you can grab that and jump over to her page so you can download her freebie that will teach you the right way of creating your freebie. Yes. Again, I appreciate you so much for coming in and laying down these nuggets and spending this like half hour-ish with me.
Absolutely.
Again, that is a wrap for this episode of Marketing Stuff. We've enjoyed having you and hope that you've enjoyed these nuggets that she's been dropping on us. Make sure you don't miss anything. Hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Make sure you pop that notification bell so you get updates whenever the new podcast drops. Be sure to check out the description in there. We will include a transcript version of the show so that you can grab the notes from everything that we talked about so you don't have to try to keep notes. We can't wait for you to join us again on the next episode as we continue to bring you the latest and greatest in marketing. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, stay out here winning, y'all.